Against the backdrop of daylight, human trafficking happens on the streets of Greenville County. Yet officers say cracking a case is hard to do.
When you stumble across those cases, it's generally, a gift from God that you saved this person. To be able to know what's going on just takes so much.
Lieutenant Michael Moore patrols the areas of Greenville County where he says prostitution and sex trafficking are rampant. He says Easley Bridge Road and Whitehorse Roads are crisis zone.
We have run several prostitution operations out of this hotel, and we've made several prostitution arrests here.
But he says once someone is arrested for prostitution, making a human trafficking case is difficult. Most victims are so demoralized and afraid to come forward, they would rather be charged with prostitution.
What you would classically think of as a pimp, it's very hard to get to somebody like that because the women are actually going to protect it.
Typically what we find is victims are afraid to come forward either because they are being abused in some way, whether it's psychologically or physically, beatings, rapes, torture, or there's some type of threat or coercion that the trafficker is using.
Michael Hildebrand heads up human trafficking cases with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
We have cases here in South Carolina and specifically in the upstate. And the reason for that is because in South Carolina we do have two major interstates, both Interstate 85 and 95, that run through the state.
Investigators say the highways make it easy for traffickers to move victims. They're moved through South Carolina on up to North Carolina, where Sherry Meankin fights sex trafficking from a computer and a phone in Asheville.
The internet is the new track. For every girl who is walking the street now, there's 3 or 4 more being advertised online.
Through a ministry called Rahab's Hope, Sherry Meankin makes calls to young women and, in some cases, young children disguised as young women in online sex ads, offering them a way out.
I'm calling from a women's ministry called Rahab's Hope, and we do outreach to ladies in the online ads. She hung up.
Most do, since it's likely their trafficker is nearby. But every now and then, Meankin says she calls someone in the right place at the right time who reaches out to be rescued.
We have helped one minor escape her pimp, and law enforcement did help her. We have had a girl that was abducted from Minnesota. When we called Atlanta, she didn't even know where she was. She had escaped her pimp.
Something these three hope they can help more people do as they fight sex trafficking across the Carolinas, online and on the streets. Jade Hindman, Fox Carolina News Tonight.